Hello and good day. It's Scott Bassett with the Understanding Narcissist channel. I'm recording for you from the beautiful town of Colorado Springs on September the 20th. It's a Sunday, I think. And in this episode, I want to talk to you about a useful tool, not a really in-depth tool, not something that I think is particularly powerful in and of itself, but is useful in your day-to-day life, which I call the Narcissistic Spectrum. Now keep in mind that I hate the term Narcissistic Spectrum because in my view, there is no narcissistic spectrum. There are narcissists and there are non-narcissists. However, in some other YouTubers, there are a few other channels that are really good. I'll probably start suggesting them soon. Some other YouTubers might disagree with me, which would be great because I'd like to hear a different point of view. But in my opinion, in my experience, I don't see a difference. I don't see a difference between a narcissistic person and a narcissist. However, there are people who, for whatever reason, have narcissistic traits or a similar, albeit simpler, mechanism for satisfying their own issues with the principles of control, but they themselves are not narcissists. They don't have the same complex. They don't have all the problems. They don't have the same symptoms. But they engage in some of the behaviors in a milder way. Narcissism is the extreme result of deep-seated insecurity and denial. Now, to get into the narcissistic spectrum, it's only going to take me a minute or two because it's really simple. It's 3 tiers. There are controlling people. That's the simplest case. Manipulative people and narcissists. Now, controlling people are people who, for whatever reason, there's a variety of reasons, engage in controlling behaviors that usually make other people uncomfortable for the purpose of relieving their own anxiety, their own problems. It may be somebody you think of as being, a control freak or something. It may be somebody who has to have things a certain way or has a dysfunctional way of communicating with people that often results in them being hurt. But the method itself is controlling. It's using subterfuge or various disrespectful ways of getting people to do what they want without directly asking them to do it. Expressing themselves, making everything known, putting everything on the table right then and there. Now, we all know people like this. I don't want to go too much in depth about it because it's unlike narcissism, which is very clear-cut and not simple, but clear-cut. It's well-defined in that there's a few things narcissists do that make them narcissists that nobody else does, and it's easy to use those behaviors to differentiate them from everybody else. Now, the next tier, manipulative people, it's just a little bit more complicated, is that manipulative people, while not sadistic, enjoy controlling others for their own benefit. That is, where a controlling person may just have some kind of issue, they may not be totally aware of their problem. Manipulative people who may not be entirely aware of their problem, either that's part of the core issue with people anybody who uses controlling methods on others to achieve their ends, is that they may not be aware of it. Manipulative people, as with controlling people, may not be aware with it, just like narcissists, full-blown narcissists, but they also derive some kind of pleasure from it. They have an awareness of it where they can create situations that harm other people. And I'm not ready to call it sadistic yet. I guess it is a little sadistic. It's not like they like emotionally torturing people, but they enjoy causing upsets and maybe harm. And they're at least somewhat aware of it. But they're not narcissistic. So what's the difference between those first two? And the narcissist? Well, anybody who knows anything about narcissists or has experience with narcissists know that the real issue is maybe they're insecure, maybe there's a problem, but they don't have an illusion. Now, the illusion is what differentiates narcissists from everyone else. The illusion, as I talked about in a previous video, is that gap between how they feel about themselves and how they have to be to feel okay. It's a constant conflict, those two polar opposites. With the illusion, there's no... I think the way I like to describe it, it's a very deep topic. I'll just have to do a video series about. I haven't done it yet because I like to touch the surface details of narcissists so people can get a good idea, because delving into the illusion can get thorny and complicated right at the outset. I like to put that off for more intermediate video. And with the illusion, to describe it in a simple terms, it's kind of like it's the thing that they make you believe so that you will project it back to them and others and make it real. What they have to feel in order to feel like a person with an identity, somebody who's competent. But it's not just competent, it's better than everybody. I like to describe it as better than God. They are greater than God. And just by their wonderful good nature, they allow you to associate with them and all the other lowly people because they're such upstanding, good-hearted, generous human beings to share themselves with everybody else. So it's that kind of conceit. It's that level. It's so extreme. It's not just I'm better than everybody else. It really is. I'm beyond anything else. And the only reason I'm here with everybody is because I'm so generous and I'm so friendly. I'm at my core such a wonderful being that I'm with you here today and with all these other people because I choose to be. Because you're all so beneath me. I feel like I can help you. I can sort of shine my guiding light for everybody to follow and be this wonderful figure that is everybody adores and desires to be, and etc. Again, you can see it becomes a very thorny thing. It's not just an extreme. In order to highlight an extreme between 2 points, it's better in human nature. It's not just one is good and one is bad. You can put yourself beyond the good by exaggerating to such an extent and letting other people's minds fill in the rest. You know, where if somebody, if you're going to put something in somebody's mind for them to believe, if they acknowledge that it's from you, it's something you're selling them, then it's going to be harder for them to grasp, take as trustworthy and credible. Even if you're a close friend or somebody they know very well. However, if it's something they think they reached on their own, a belief, that the conclusion, whatever they end up believing, is their own conclusion and not something you put in their head, but you actually did, then they believe it all the more strongly because they don't think you're trying to push it. That's really what the illusion is. It's not telling people I'm great. It's putting it into their minds. All the actions, all the appearances, all the right words. It's a very subtle emotional thing and social, but it's really emotional, putting that into other people's minds. So to get back to the original point, the three tiers of the narcissistic spectrum, which I really don't like those words, but if somebody else can think of something better, please tell me. Just to differentiate them between people who have narcissistic traits but aren't narcissistic. They just appear to be, and they fundamentally lack the illusion. I'd also like to add that narcissists are sadistic across the board. It may be a subtle thing, but they enjoy seeing you in pain. It can be in physical pain, but it's really the control that they don't, or that they derive from seeing you in such a lowly state, such a helpless state. It gives them a great, overwhelming feeling of control. And the other groups don't feel that as much. Manipulative people somewhat, but it's not the same. Narcissists live for that. So that's a important distinction to make. I think that's all I have for this video. I hope it's shorter. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more information, I'll have either a pop-up or the link or both below. You can check out my book, The 16 Signs of a Narcissist, which goes into more detail if you're interested. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.